everybody. So we have a project that we're working on. In our barns we have wind tunnel ventilation, which means that we've got fans on the one end of the barns that suck the air through. We've got openings on the west end and we got fans on the east end. So in our older barn, these are all 72-inch J&D fans. This is a 3-row barn. It's 67 feet wide barn. So we got 12 72-inch J&Ds down, J&D fans. And the shutters that were on them were totally filthy. They get built up with dust, and then they get moisture on them, and then they get hard, and then the shutters don't want to open because they're too heavy. So yesterday we took all these shutters off and we pressure washed them. So we got to get these shutters back on. And then I realized that most of these belts are looking pretty rough on these fans. And efficiency is something you really want to try to maximize on these fans because they're very expensive to run. Like our electric bill in the summer will be, with all these barns running, will be $10,000 a month. So we want to make sure that we're not wasting a lot of electricity from the fans not performing the way they should be. And that $10,000 a month is not, it's only for the hottest months, and it's well worth it. It keeps the cows a lot cooler. The reproduction stays up. They don't drop in milk in hot stretches. You don't see them all bunched up in the center of the barn because they feel like the heat is attacking them. That's what they do. They feel like they're getting attacked when it gets really hot. So they all group together in like one big group. And they don't do that in these wind tunnel barns if they're set up right. And actually this barn, we've got baffles. They're called baffles. They're these tarp or plastic-like things hanging down here in the center. Oh, they're like every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about every 40 feet. We've got these things hanging down. And it's what these do, as the air is coming across the top of the barn, these baffles are in the way of the air moving. So the air gonna come down and then swoop back up, and then when it comes down, it hits the cow. Otherwise, all these fans would be pulling the air way up in the top of the barn because it's the least resistance, and it would just flow down through here, and the air really wouldn't get down to the cow level. So I guess we need to get, we're gonna finish putting, we got belts ordered. I got 20 belts ordered. They should be in this morning. Nobody had enough that we needed, but every fan's got 2. Actually, I don't, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only got 20. We need 20. We got 10 fans. I might have told you guys we had 12 fans, but there's actually only 10. And each fan's got 2 belts. So we got 20 belts. We got to get them on this morning, and then we got to get the shutters on because right now, these fans that are running, like this fan right here is running, it's sucking the air right out of this hole, right up into that hole, instead of sucking it from the other end of the barn, because it's a path of least resistance. It's just easier for the fan to suck air right here than it is from way down the other end of the barn. And the thermostats are down there, so it's going to keep telling the fans to ramp up, and it's just going to keep circulating air here. It's not going to be right. So we got to get the shutters back on, especially the fans that aren't running. So that's a project for this morning, and then we're going to go to the other barn and we're going to take those shutters off. I'll show you how dirty those are before we take them off. And this barn was by far the worst though. And there's a couple bearings. Another thing we got to watch is these bearings and these tighteners. They can go out. Actually, this one here seems a little loose. It's got a little wiggle in it. But these J&D fans have been really bulletproof. They're really good fans. Here's what they look like on the outside of the barn. Move a lot of air. Really good for the plants. So here we are in our cake barn, the new barn. This barn is 125 by 500 feet. So there's actually 24 fans down here. But these fans are only 55-inch fans, but they move a lot of air. They're supposed to move almost as much air as our 72-inch. These all have variable speed direct drive motors on them. But you can see why we're cleaning this stuff. See how this is just really dirty, and when it's dirty, when the louvers try to open, but there's so much weight on them, they can't open far enough, so then the air gets restricted. And it costs a lot more money to run when you got stuff like this on the fans. It's just, they aren't very efficient. So you should at least do this once a year, at least on the shutters. We're probably gonna take some rags or something and some soap and water and wipe the fan blades off so that the air moves through there better too. But the inside of the fans really aren't that dirty. They're a little dusty, of course, but there's not a buildup like there is on these shutters. So that's the plan. We're gonna get these shutters off, and then we're gonna wash these while Caesar's gonna wash these shutters, as we're I think Keith's gonna help me get the belts on the other fans and some bearings in, get all this stuff ready for summer. So this is what the inside of these are Munters fans actually, and this is like a computer in here, and it's all variable speed drive. So there's no belts, there's no grease fittings or anything on these fans, which is really nice. And you can see they're not really that dirty on the inside. I mean, there's dust in there, but if we clean them, there's going to be dust in there right away again anyhow. But the shutters, those is what have the buildup on them. So we're unloading them all here, and Caesar's going to use the pressure washer and wash them. And this is the stack that we did yesterday from the other barn. We're going to load these back up in the truck. They're all okay, it's just the way the louvers are flipped here, but there's 10 of them. So we'll load them back up, take them around the barn while he's washing these, and get it done. So my dad just went and picked up all the belts and bearings, and they had it all right?
Yeah.
So this is my dad, Dennis. And we're going to get these belts, and we're going to get them back on the fan. So Keith has got all the belts on. Here's the stack of old belts. And now he's going through wiping the fan blades off, and I'm going to go and tighten up some of these belts because the tighteners aren't getting them tight enough. Like you can see, that one up there looks really loose, and there's another one down here. I'll get a closer shot. You can see this, how loose these belts are. This tightener needs to be adjusted, and I'm just checking the rest of the bearings too to make sure there ain't no more bearings out. So to tighten the tightener, you just loosen the bolt, this bolt right here, and then this whole tightener, this is a spring-loaded tightener. So basically it pushes like this, but it doesn't seem like it's pulling back far enough. So I got to figure out how to adjust that. So basically you just loosen this nut, and then you back this whole thing up a little bit, so when it tightens, it's got more spring to it. We'll try it right here. Then to get the belts on, you just push the tightener. It's hard to do with one hand, but. So I got the belt back on here, and now it's nice and it comes back a lot better. I think that's better. So we got the fan belts all changed, and we turned all the fans on. But now we need them all to kick on so we can see if there's any loud ones, so we know to look for bearings or in the motor or bearings in the tightener that are out. So I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna go up by the thermostat and hold my hand on it so it kicks all them fans on. Thermostat is actually right up above this cowl. In this barn there's only one thermostat. It's right in the middle. Just this little thing right here. Just a little. I'm just gonna hold my hand on this and get those fans to kick on down there so we can see where the loud ones are. This wind tunnel, it would get really hot in here in a big hurry if it was warm outside and the curtains were shut and the fans weren't on. But the nice part is in this barn we do have curtains, so if something happened to power, we couldn't get power to them fans, we could open the curtains. But the other barn is not like that, so we need to rely on the generator. This cow's getting real scratched. We got a couple loud fans and we think it's in the bearings, the motors, the bearings of the motors. So we're gonna take 2 of these motors off and take them to town, and the guy that works on electric motors will put new bearings in them, and that'll really quiet them down. So we're gonna work on that, and then we'll put the fan shrouds back on the rest of them and we'll be good to go. So we're getting them put back on now. Steve's still wiping them down, so we got 2 on. I'm gonna continue putting them on with Keith, and before you know it, we'll be done. So we got them all done in this barn. Turned them back on, so today it's about 30 degrees out and there's only 3 fans running. We got one there, and on the end, on the top. None of the bottom ones are on today. So it's a good feeling to have that done. Now we just gotta go to the other barn, and we got another 24 to do over there. Caesar's washing those first 12. Steve and Keith are cleaning them. When Caesar's done washing, we'll put them louvers on. Probably take the other louvers off first so he can keep washing. And hopefully we get this all done today. So we got the north side of the new barn done. Looks really nice. Fans are all on down here. It's a lot better than it did when we started. If you notice how wide open the shutters are now compared to before. Just because, actually they're not all on. There's 2 of them that aren't. And actually the one, we're waiting for a new fan blade. The tops of these fans, they get built up with snow, especially up on the top. And we were trying to break it off and be careful with it, and a big chunk came down from that fan and it landed on this one. And the fan was on at the time and it broke the blade. So we got a new fan blade coming for this one.